Okay, so we're on to the last part of Unit 4, and in this unit we're going to cover a very important topic, which is defining relations and functions. So when we talk about relations, relations are any pairing of two sets of numbers, usually a domain and a range. So the domain for a relation is the set of x values. I call them inputs. The range is the set of y values. Those are outputs. So in example 1, we're going to talk about how to define the domain and range and represent a relation with what's called a mapping diagram. So with this, we're going to do that, and we're going to define whether something's a relation or a function. So for part A, the domain of this is the list of x values. So I'm going to highlight those in red. Okay? So our list of x values is -2, 0, 4, and 5. Our range, I'm going to use blue. Our range is this list, 0.5, 2.5, and 6.5. Now you'll notice there are two 2.5s, but when I'm listing my domain or my range, I only list each number once. So to represent this using a mapping diagram, on the left will be my x values, my inputs. On the right will be my y values, my outputs. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to have the numbers -2, 0, 4, and 5. On the right-hand side, I'm going to have 0.5, 2.5, and 6.5. And to draw a mapping diagram, each input maps to its output. So -2 goes to 2.5, or sorry, -2 goes to 0.5, the first number on my list. So I'm just going to draw an arrow from -2 to 0.5. 0 goes to 2.5. 4 goes to 6.5. And then 5 maps to 2.5. Okay, so this is a relation. More specifically, is it a function? Now, the definition of a function says a function tells us each input has exactly one output. So, in this function, -2 has one output, 0 has one output, 4 has one output, 5 has one output. So this is a function. Each input has exactly one output. Each input has one branch going off of it, mapping it to an output. That's how we tell whether something's a relation or a function. If any of these inputs on the left-hand side had multiple branches going to different outputs, they would not be functions. So in this next example, our domain, our inputs, our x values, I like listing them in order. 4, 5, and 6. So 4, 5, and there's 2 6s, so I only list it once. My outputs, my y values for my range, I'm going to write those in order as well. 3, 4, 5, and 8. Okay. Now to do my mapping diagram, I'll cover this one a little bit slower than the last one. I realize I went through that one a little bit quick. So my domain, I'm just listing 4, 5, and 6 on the left. On the right, 3, 4, 5, and 8. So what I do is, to make my mapping diagram, I look at this first point, 6, 5. 6 as an input goes to 5 as an output. 4 and 3. I'm going to draw a line from 4 to 3. 6 to 4. So I'm going to go from this 6, I'm going to draw a line to 4. And then for 5 to 8, I'm going to draw a line from 5 to 8 to match them up. Now this example of a mapping diagram this is just a relation. This is not a function. And the main reason this is not a function is because 6, the input of 6, has 2 different outputs. So each input does not have exactly one output. That is why this is not a function. Okay, so domain and range, mapping diagrams. If a mapping diagram has 2 branches going from an input, it is not a function. So that's how we tell from a mapping diagram. In a vertical line test, we're talking about representing a relation with a graph. The vertical line test tells us whether a relation is a function or not by its graph. So, if any vertical line passes through more than one point on the graph, the relation is not a function. So, the first relation is a function because a vertical line anywhere on this graph will only hit the graph once. Number 2, a vertical line anywhere on this graph will only hit it once. Number 3, this is not a function because I can draw a vertical line that hits this graph multiple times. So in part 4, we are using the vertical line test to tell whether something's a function or not. In the first one, we look, will a vertical line ever hit 2 points at the same time? I say no, so this is a function. So you're asking yourself, will a vertical line hit 2 of my points at the same time? In this case, no. In the next one, this is not a function. And the reason why is because I can use a vertical line to hit these 2 points, or I could use a vertical line to hit these 2 points, or I could use a vertical line to hit these 2 points. So not a function. And I realize I copied the same one, so this last one is the same as the second one, so sorry about that. In this next one, this is not a function. A vertical line can hit this twice in multiple spots. So if a vertical line can hit it twice at any input, it's not a function. So the only one that was a function was the first one. So vertical line test, can a vertical line hit our relation twice as a graph? So what I'll do right now is I think I'm going to split up the videos and I'm going to have you just do a little bit of practice on function or not a function, and then I'll have you come back to this same video or to this different link to a new video to talk about inputs and outputs and how to determine domain and range in a different way. So I'm going to post this video, you're going to do a little practice, and then you're going to come back to the notes to finish them off.